welcome back to another episode of the Tottenham podcast. I'm your host Alex, and I'm joined today by Wackas, my co-host as always. As promised, we're back for another episode to round up what we did on deadline day, which wasn't much, but we'll still talk about it anyway. A couple of key things. So yeah, Wackas, how you doing, mate? You alright?
I'm good. There's gonna be a lot to talk about today, that's for sure.
Yeah. Let's just get straight into it then. So let's start with the big incoming of the day was Emerson Royal from Barcelona, the right back, about 30 million euros, so about maybe 25 million pound roughly. A position we needed, a solid, consistent right back. I've seen clips of him. I know about him. I've wanted him for a while. At the start of the summer, he was one of the players I actually wanted, so I'm happy that we got that. That came from nowhere, really. I'm Monday night, Tuesday night, that's when it started to emerge that we might be able to get him. It looked like at one stage it might not go through because he weren't keen on the idea, but we managed to convince him and he came in. So that's a good signing. Just to round up the outgoings as well, there was two major outgoings. Serge Aurier terminated his contract, a mutual contract termination from the club late last night, just before the deadline. So he's no longer a Tottenham player. We couldn't get a fee for him. Nobody wanted to buy him. I think he had a couple of opportunities to go, but he turned them down. For example, Leo, I think he turned that down because he used to play for London. I think I said that on the previous podcast. So he is gone, which is somewhat unfortunate because he were a decent player, but I think it's the time is right for him to go. And obviously find a new club. That's good for us, football wise probably, because he's a bit inconsistent. And also the second outgoing, a little bit less major, but Cameron Carter-Vickers went to Celtic on a season one loan with an option to buy. I'm not quite sure how much that option to buy is. I think it's around £2 million. I think that's what Alistair Gold said, so we'll go with that. And that's it, pretty much. That is it in terms of major outgoings or incomings. It was announced last night at around maybe 7-8 o'clock that we wouldn't be doing any more business. And that's it. I still expected us to do a surprise late deal. I can't lie. I thought maybe Weston McKennie. I thought that was going to be the one that we did.
Weston McKennie?
Weston McKennie, yeah. There were rumours that Burnley wanted him, or Burnley were interested or offered him.
Burnley.
And I thought, well, yeah, exactly. He's not really a Burnley type player, but I thought if they're getting offered him, then surely we can get going for him. But yeah, I don't know. Before I bring you in, Marcus, I just wanted to give a quick opinion. I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit angry yesterday afternoon when we weren't doing anything, because I thought, we need things to happen now. You know what I mean? Transfer wise, incoming wise, sorry. But then when I sort of realised, it's not actually been a terrible window. It's not actually been a terrible window. It's not been the best, but it's not been the worst. Personally, I'd give the window 7 or 7.5 out of 10. I think that's generous, but I think with Aurier going, I think that bumps it up by a rating. So, brings it up by a rating. So, what are your thoughts on the deadline day, Wackas, and the window overall?
With the Tottenham, if we talk about Spurs, for example, I don't think it was really gonna be a transfer window that's really gonna, like, a deadline day that's really gonna stand out. It was like I said, the deadline day, it probably wasn't a good deadline day, but you've got to admit and you've got to praise Fabio Paratici and Steve Hitchen for everything. And if you've seen our Twitter recently, it seems like everyone is 7.58 those were the comment section sixes. So I don't think anyone really complained so far. We've obviously signed Emerson, who's 22, and he's a right back with a 30 million fee. And then you've got Golini, who's 26. He's Italian, and it was a loan fee. And then we've got Christian Romero. I'm not sure if it's a loan or a 55 million deal, but we'll just put it as a 55 million one for now. And with Brian Gill, his was 21 million plus Eric Lamela. And Papi Sarr, he's 18 and he's from Senegal. It was a 13 million fee, and he's gonna be on loan at Metz. So that is not really. I don't think it's really a bad window. It's not really a great window either. I wouldn't really complain too much. And if we look at the outgoings, Toby Alderweireld, Serge Aurier, Toby Alderweireld, Juan Foyth, Musa Sissoko, Joe Hart, and Eric Lamela.
We should have kept him. Sorry to interrupt. We should have kept one point.
Yeah. I think that we should just go for One Foyth as well. No worries. And who unfortunately got released? We've got Danny Rose. I think it was time we let to go. Gazzaniga as well. I think it was time to let him go as well. So you've got Alderweireld as a replacement. You've got Romero as a replacement for Toby. I think that's meh. But Toby's aging as well, so it might be good for the future. And you've got Sissoko. I think we would just say Pape Sarris' replacement, but even though he's on loan. And Joe Hart with Golini. I think Golini is a better goalkeeper all round than Joe Hart. And obviously Brian Gill with Eric Lamela. Decent. I like that. So yeah, and I guess that's not too bad and not too great either.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a good roundup there, Lucas. Well done for remembering all the signings. Yeah, it's not a terrible window. Don't get me wrong. It's not. I'm not like saying it was an awful window, and but I just feel like every single season, this is what happens with Tottenham. We never get. Maybe last season was okay, but we never usually get all the players that we need. I feel like you can see, even if you're not a Tottenham fan, the areas that we need to improve. Oh, Peter's here. The areas that we need to improve. A centre mid, right wing, and a striker, and we didn't get any. And I really thought we'd get at least maybe a midfielder and an attacker. I just feel like we're a bit short in that area, because what happens if Harry Kane gets injured? I know we discussed this on the previous podcast, so I don't really go over it again, but what happens if Harry Kane gets injured? I know some can play up front, that we said, but are we really going to trust Dan Scarlett long term? Kane gets injured, a winger, have we really got enough in that area? I just feel like we're a bit short to challenge for top four, and I think a couple of good signings yesterday really made the difference in challenging for top four, and now I think that we're just going to be a bit short. We've still got some decent depth. It's just that striker area. I think that's the one that, I read something today that Llorente is available on a free, or Daniel Sturridge, or we should seriously look into trying to get one of those players. It sounds silly, but that we should do that, because Sturridge especially, he's homegrown, so he's in English, so he's homegrown. He's got Premier League experience. Right, okay, fair enough. He might be a bit injured prone. Even if he can come in and play some Conference League games, then at least that takes the load of Harry Kane, and allows him maybe not to get as much in, not take the load off, but allows him to to rest at certain times. rather than playing every single game, because that's what happens to him every season. You know he's going to get injured, Harry Kane, because he always does. Every single season without fail. He got injured last season. He nearly missed the Carabao Cup final. He
Always
got
in
injured the season
January
before
as
that, and the
well.
season before that. It's well, I think well, actually, I don't know. I don't know how many times he's been injured, but he definitely got injured last season. And I just feel like we're short in that area. Sorry. Before you carry on, Wackas, and I'll bring Peter in. I said it on the podcast the other day. Edouard, I'm really stunned that we didn't go for him. We let him go to Crystal Palace, and all due respect to Crystal Palace, we've done some great business, and I think they are a club on the up. You know what I mean? But we can't be letting a player that quality go to Crystal Palace. I'm afraid. For that £15 million, that's nothing. You know what I mean? So I think we've missed out there. And Adam Traore as well. I read something saying that we put a £30 million bidding for him on Monday, but we didn't go back in yesterday. Why are we not going back in? We bid
40
£70 million
million.
for Lautaro Martinez, but yet we can't. We can't seem to find the money to get the players that we need. It's just a bit confusing to me. But anyway, I'll let you go, Marcus.
Yeah, so with the depth thing, that was exactly what I was gonna say this morning when we are taught on TV. I think that if Kane and Son get injured, like, come on, what's gonna happen? Like, we've got Scarlett as the depth striker, as the backup striker. I definitely think that there should be some. I definitely think that there's supposed to be an improvement to that. Especially with the departure, as striker, like last season, if we had Kane, not last season, the season before that, if we had Kane, we would have been in a completely different position. Too many injuries, and you never know what's gonna happen. And disappointing we couldn't get a striker and more depth, but I think for now, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, I mean, we should. Yeah, we'll be fine. It's just, I think we missed a trick yesterday. Like I said, I was expecting us to sign, 10 players, but I just think, we could have really made an effort yesterday to make that leap into being top 4 challenges. But anyway, is Peter with us? Are you there?
Yeah.
Hi, mate. You all right?
Yeah.
How do you see our number one, our overall window, and number two, deadline day yesterday? Are you disappointed or are you happy? What's your thoughts?
Well, I mean, thinking back to the start of the window, I think we've ticked most of the boxes that we set out. If you know what I mean. We've got rid of a lot of the dead wood and replaced them with younger and potentially better options. As far as deadline day goes, I mean, it would have been nice to see a surprise midfielder, but Emerson is a great addition at right back, and especially now that Ori is on. I think our signings. I think our window is a bit underrated by our fans. I feel like Rivero is a massive signing for us.
Yeah.
Like, we're calling out for sign a centre back for 40-50 million pounds, and we've done out and done that, which I think some people are forgetting. I've also shipped out people like Eric Lamela. Sergio, a lot of people wanted Aurier out. He's done now. A lot of the things people wanted have happened. So yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Peter. I mean, I think our window has been underrated. I mean, I don't want to keep like flip flopping, but on one hand, I am disappointed, but on the other hand, yeah, it is a bit underrated. I mean, I like the fact that we're getting back to signing young players. You know what I mean? That was a staple under Pochettino. We used to sign young players and develop them. That's what we used to do, and that's how we got so successful. Not in terms of trophies, but in terms of progression. And yeah, the signings of like Brian Hill and Sarr are very, very underrated. Not just by Tottenham fans, but by the entire Premier League, because Brian Hill's going to be a top player. I can see it. I watched him against Paco Squarera. Some of the things he was doing, he reminded me like it's silly, but he reminded me of Johan Cruyff. I can see why you call him Little Cruyff, because he reminds me of him. Like the way he jinks past people, he even looks like him. You know what I mean? So that's a good sign. And Sarr as well. Yeah, like I said, he's the Sissoko replacement. I think he is. He's a similar sort of player to Sissoko in the way that he plays. Not quite as physical, but yeah, he is similar, and he's only 18 as well, so he's got plenty of time to develop. If he has another good season on loan at Mets this season, bring him back and then develop him under Nuno, who's quite good at developing young players. He developed Neto, Ruben Neves, who's still young, Podence, who's quite young as well. Ike Nora he had at Wolves. I can cover there's Max Kilman. All these young players. Traore, who was like 22 when he first joined Wolves, so he's done well to develop him. So he's got a good track record. So hopefully he can develop these young players. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. What do you think, Waka? So, have you got any more thoughts on? Let me ask you this question then, both of you. So, Waka's first. If you could have picked one position to strengthen yesterday, either winger, midfielder, or striker, what would you have picked? You can only pick one. What would you have picked?
Striker, probably.
Striker, yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Peter?
I mean, we could have definitely done with getting a striker in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think we can do without a winger because we've got Brian Hill, Lucas Bergwijn, Son. The Ray can even play out wide if needs be. Obviously, that'd be getting a bit desperate if he did, but hopefully, I don't have to do that. But yeah, definitely a striker. I think we've always had at least two strikers at the club. Llorente, Janssen, Vinicius, Defoe, all these strikers. We've always had at least two, and it just baffles me how we've not gone out and got one, even like a cheap one. You know what I mean? Even somebody from the Championship. You know what I mean? Just somebody that can come in and play just some Conference League games, because half these Conference League games they're going to be against worse opposition than what we are. So I'm sure they can do a job. You know what I mean? I'm surprised we haven't got in somebody like Edouard, or somebody like even like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of an example. But even somebody like Benteke, I know it sounds silly, but somebody like that, just anyone, just to be a backup for a year. You know what I mean? So I think we have missed out there. But
I take Vinicius.
yeah, go on,
again.
sorry, Marcus.
I take Vinicius again, on loan again.
Yeah, I think he's just got a PSV though, aren't he?
Yeah, he signed for PSV, but I think we should have signed him quicker.
Yeah, I said that. I think I said that on the podcast on the weekend. Yeah, I'd taken him back, and yeah, he definitely spot on there, Marcus, with that. But I think we'll draw a line and do that now. We'll just got to move on. Maybe come back in January. I'd definitely like to see sign a striker in January or a winger in January. Something just to help us get through that second part of the season. But and push on and try and get top four, and sort of. So I think the second half, sort of March onwards, I'd say that's the key time. To really kick on. And I don't think we did that last season. We lost too many games. Aston Villa. We drew at Wolves. Arsenal we lost. So those are the key games that we need to pick up points in. And I think hopefully Nuno's quite keen on fitness, same as Pochettino. So hopefully we've got the fitness and the resolve, not resolve, but the energy levels to keep going in the second half of the season. But yeah, thanks guys for that. Let's just go on now to something non-Tottenham related, just the window in general. So it was quite a quiet day at Tottenham yesterday, so we need something to talk about for the next sort of 5-10 minutes. So let's go on to talk about the window in general. What one deal in the entire transfer window impressed you most? Marcus first.
Some tough questions, I must admit. I think if we could sign one per person, could it be anyone or just like?
No, I mean, we're just talking about the window in general. I mean, like, if you look at the entire transfer window, what one signing from any club, like, what one signing like Ronaldo or like Lukaku, what signing that impressed you?
Noah, for 25 million, I would have picked Ronaldo, but that's not realistic because we play in the Conference League, of course. So if we're going realistically, I think I'll go for Traore or Martinez because that was really close. I think I'd go for Martinez.
Okay, I don't think you quite got what I'm trying to get at, but yeah, okay. What about you, Peter? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. I don't. Maybe you do it. I don't know. Did you understand what the question?
Yeah, I think. I mean, Ronaldo. I think Man United are paying it in like 2.5 million a year over 5 years, which is phenomenal for arguably the greatest player of all time to sign him for that little.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, we can't ignore Messi on a free transfer or anything like that.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. Yeah.
And basically all of PSG signings.
Yeah, I'd say definitely PSG's window is up there with probably one of the greatest windows of all time. I mean, they signed that Nuno Mendes yesterday from Sporting Lisbon as well. So they've literally got um like near enough elite players in every single position. So yeah, it's unbelievable. Like Ramos on a free transfer, Wijnaldum on a free transfer, Hakimi for like 40 million. That's one of the best right backs in the world for 40 million. That's like just outrageous. And they managed to keep Mbappe as well, even if it's just a season. I think they've got a real chance to win the Champions League this year under Pochettino. But we all know what Pochettino is like in big finals. But we'll just have to hope that he gets it done this time. Sorry, Peter, were you going to say something? No. Okay. I think if I had to pick one player, I think it'd definitely be Romelu Lukaku. I think. Yeah, Lukaku. Yeah, I think Chelsea have got a world-class striker there. I know he didn't have the best game against Liverpool, but I think that's because he was 10 men for the second half. But I think he's the game changer for them for the title. I really do. I think I predicted Chelsea for the title. I think he's going to carry them to the title. I think he'll get 25 Premier League goals. With the players he's got around him as well. I think if they'd have signed Jules Koundé from Sevilla, I think that would have pretty much sealed the title for me. I know Manchester City have got unbelievable squad depth, but they didn't manage to sign a striker. So I just think Lukaku's sort of that game changer that Chelsea were looking for. Because they had Timo Werner up front last season and Havertz and Tammy Abraham. All decent players, but not that one world class, game changing player. And I think they've got that in Lukaku in his prime as well. A lot of money, but I think he'll definitely repay the money in his goals. So yeah, I'd say, and I think in terms of an underrated signing, I'd definitely say Emiliano Buendia from Norwich to Aston Villa. I was absolutely crying out for Tottenham to sign Emiliano Buendia when he was at Norwich. I think he'd have really answered a lot of our sort of creative issues. Because not only is he a good cricketer, but he can score as well. So Buendia would have been a fantastic signing. What do you think, Marcus?
Aston Villa are gonna be like, if you've seen their starting 11 so far, they've got Watkins, Ings, Buendia, Martinez, etc. I think they'd finish above Arsenal, 100%.
Really?
Well, anyone could finish above Arsenal. One. Second, if you've seen their squad and the transfers they've made, I think they'd be like decent, and hopefully, I'd really like to see Aston Villa in the Europa League or Conference League. I think I'd really be happy to see that.
Yeah. Peter, what about you? What? Because obviously Saul signed for Chelsea yesterday on just before the deadline. I don't know if you've seen much of him play, but do you think that'll be a decent sign for Chelsea, or do you think it'll just be another squad player for them?
I mean, he might not. If they keep playing the system that they are at the moment, then surely, well, there's a high chance that one of Kante or Jorginho, would have to get dropped, which
Yeah.
I find, a strange concept considering,
Yeah.
how well they've been doing, like this calendar year for Chelsea. I mean, it could definitely go. It could definitely be a very good signing, or he could just, have a bit of a mediocre season, just depending on how things go and how he settles, and adapts, and how much he's played, and what
Yeah.
position.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. Exactly his position, because I just don't see the logic behind that signing. I mean, like, they've got pretty much two of the best midfielders in Europe already in Jorginho and Kante. I really rate Jorginho. I think he's a class player. Not quite the best player in the world, like he got that award for, but yeah, I don't know. Did they really need him? I think that was just another one where they had to sign him to stop Manchester United getting him. But yeah, I don't know, because I think they'd probably been better off trying to go for Koundé, to be fair, rather than signing in the midfield that they don't need. But yeah, and obviously Griezmann to Atletico Madrid as well. Obviously that's not Tottenham or Premier League related, but I just thought I'd touch on that quickly. What an absolute mess Barcelona are at the moment. I mean, they literally signed Antoine Griezmann and replaced it and sold him for less than they bought him for, a lot less than they bought him for, and then they replaced him with Luke De Jong. I mean, that's just absolutely terrible business from Barcelona. I know they're in a lot of difficulty financially, but seriously, I don't know what's going on over there. They've lost the best player. I don't know what's going to happen. I can't see them being a force in Europe for a long time, because I just think, they've got Martin Braithwaite and Luke De Jong from, and they went from Messi, Suarez, and Neymar to Martin Braithwaite and Luke De Jong. It's just, it's a real decline for them. But
It's not even funny.
I mean, sorry, Peter.
It's not even funny anymore. It's just sad now that we're thinking about it. Because you've seen the downfall. Come on, it's sad. It's not funny, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they got to get the best players to take pay cuts just to register players, I mean, that's just absolutely, ridiculous. Like, it's Barcelona we're talking about, one of the most historic clubs of all time. They've won Champions Leagues and La Ligas, and every trophy you can think of, they've won it. They've got some of the best players to ever play the game, and now they've got such a poor team, really. I mean, they've still got some good players, but if you look at it, it's nowhere near what it should be. And even letting Messi go, that's not really improving the financial situation. So I don't know what's going to happen to them. But I mean, is there anything anybody else wants to talk about? Because I'm struggling to find things to talk about. Is there anything anyone wants to bring up?
I don't know really.
With the transfers and stuff, is there now that we've signed like little players and stuff, and everything is looking better than it did before, obviously. I know this may be a tough question, but what is your predicted lineup, like week in, week out?
I'll give mine, and I'll let Peter go. My lineup. I mean, if we're just going basic, if everybody's fit, I'll say Lloris in goal. I'm going to say we're going to play 4-3-3. So Lloris in goal, Emerson at right back, Romero and Sanchez at centre half, Reggie on left back, Hoybier, Skip, and Ndombele centre mid. I think Ndombele needs to come back into the team now that he's not got to move away. I think he needs to be, brought back into the team. Go Son left wing. Either Bergwijn or Lucas on the right, and then Kane up front. What about you, Peter?
I just agree with all of that, but I mean, for me, it's a toss-up between Dyer and Sanchez. Just whichever one has made the least mistakes recently.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I would just agree with the rest of it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I really like Sanchez. I know not many people do, but I really think he's a good defender in there. I mean, I think he's got every attribute you can want out of a defender. He's got pace, he's good in the air, he can win, he's good, he's decent one-on-one, he's got decent composure, he can pass the ball, I don't really know, if you looked at him, you think, there's a perfect defender, but it's just a mistake that he's got in him that just cost you a game. And that's if he can eradicate that, I think he'll be a top player because he's only 25 as well, 24, 25. So he's got plenty of years left. So I'm hoping the way he started the season that he'll have a really good season and sort of establish himself as the partner for Romero in the long term. But we'll see. I think Dyer's okay, but I just think he's more error prone than Sanchez because I think he's liable to go away a penalty as well. We've seen him do that before on Paul Pogba. I can remember, the game like a lockdown on the Friday night. We were playing Man United at our stadium and he gave away a penalty. And then he nearly gave away another penalty, but it got disallowed on VAR, so we could have lost that game. But that's the sort of thing that he'll do. But yeah, I've got a question for you guys. Do you think our squad's in a better place now after this transfer window than it was at the end of the last summer window? Do you think it's in a worse place? What do you reckon, Peter?
I think it's in a better place. I don't really see any area in which it's necessarily got worse. I mean, I suppose I don't really see any. Our defense has improved massively.
Yeah.
In my opinion, now that we've got Emerson in, he's better than Aurier.
Yeah.
Our defense has improved. Our midfield has really just stayed the same. So yeah, it's really just stayed the same. And our attack, also just, I mean, Lamella's gone, but I mean, Brian Heel, it doesn't seem to be as injury prone, and hopefully he can stay in the team for longer, for longer periods of time. So I don't think we've declined at all. I would personally say we've, marginally, the squad's better than it was, at least a bit.
Yeah. What about you, Wakas? Do you think the squad's in a better place now, or do you think it was better last season?
I think with the defense it's better. The midfield it could be better, could be worse, but for now I think it's better, in a better position 100%. The attack though, no, it's not in a better place than it was last season. You've got Bergwijn. Last summer window, he was on his good form period. So I think Bergwijn was better. That was back when he was in good shape. I don't want to had shame, but you know what happened after with Lucas. No, I think Lucas improved. I think with Bale, Gareth Bale, I know he wasn't really playing as much, but even though his form probably wasn't good last summer, Gareth Bale, come on. I think he instantly, not instantly, but if you have a big name like him on the wing with Son, with Kane, it's better than Lucas or Bergwijn.
Yeah, I mean, just two quick things. I think Gareth Bale get played a lot more this season than he did last season under Jose, I think he'd get played a lot more. I think Nuno would probably realise his value a bit more. And then secondly, the only thing I'd say about the squad that'd be better last season was the backup striker. I know I keep saying it, but I really feel it's so important. You know what I mean? And I think I'd have been really, really happy with this window if we'd have got a backup striker. But as now, I'm just satisfied. But that is taking it up another level. But if we've got a striker in, that is. But we haven't, so what we'll just have to deal with it, I suppose. Deal with just having Harry Kane, which is good, which is really good. But just I wanted a backup for him. But last thing I would say is I think Oliver Skip's like a new signing. I know it sounds cliche, but he is. Like, I think he's just come back with so much confidence. He looks, a man, not a man reborn, but like a completely different player than he was before he went to Norwich. I think he's done really well in the first 3 games. And I think he's sort of the player we've been missing. And I know we said that about Javier last season, but I think Skip's more of an out-and-out DM rather than Javier's more of a box-to-box midfielder, whereas Skip's more of a DM. So I definitely think if he can stay fit, which hopefully he should do, he can play most of our Premier League games for us this season, which is fantastic. And just a last point before I let you guys carry on. I've been a little bit disappointed with Ryan Sessegnon in the other part of the season. I know he's only played the 2 games against Pacos in the Conference League playoff, but hopefully he can pick up form. I don't really know what his best position is, whether it's a winger or a left back. Hopefully it's a left back, because I think maybe it might be Ben Davis' time to go next summer if he doesn't get played much. So I think hopefully Sessegnon can become the backup to Reguilon. But yeah, any final thoughts from you guys on anything, or is that it from you?
I think
Sorry, yeah.
No, no.
Yeah. Yes. I would like to add that I did forget that I did forget that about Gareth Bale, to be honest, last season. I forgot. I would say our attack has probably got a bit worse. With Vinicius and Bale, I just didn't think about players who were on loan and didn't stay. I would just like to add that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I personally, I still think Gareth Bale is world class. We saw it when he played last season. I think he had that little spell in March, I think, against like Burnley, Palace, those sorts of teams where he came in. He scored against Wolfsburg. He had that really good run where he scored like goals, and he got the hat trick against Sheffield United. He scored twice against Leicester in the last game of the season. I think if he'd have just been fit, or even when he could have played, I genuinely think we had a better chance of getting to the top 4. I don't know why, for the life in me, that he didn't get played more often. I don't think Jose wanted him in particular. I think Daniel Levy was the one that tried to get him, and obviously he did get him, but I don't think Jose was particularly keen on it. But I think if we had him now, I'd say we've got a great chance of getting to the top 4. But as it stands, hopefully he has a good season for Real. Because I really wish him the best, because he's had a bit of a tumultuous time from the Real Madrid fans. They gave him a lot of stick, whistling at him, and he didn't really seem to care either. But I think he's come back this season under Ancelotti, and he looks like he's ready for it. So, ready to play his football. And with them not getting Mbappe as well, I think he'll be a key player for Ancelotti. So hopefully, I'll be keeping an eye on it, and hopefully he can do really well. We've got 10 minutes left, so I'm just trying to think of some more talking points. Tanguy and Ndombele. Let's have a bit of a chat about Tanguy and Ndombele. He, from what I understand, obviously I'm not a journalist, but what I was reading, we tried to sell him, we tried to move him on, but obviously there were no buyers. Similar to Aurier, there were no buyers. He wanted to leave. He wanted to leave last summer as well. I think we were in talks with Inter for him at one point, and he ended up staying. So what are your guys' opinions on Tanguy and Ndombele? What does he have to do to get back into the team? First, should we go? Whoever wants to talk about who and Ndombele.
Would you like?
Podcast?
Oh, okay. So yeah, with Ndombele, I think something must have gone on behind the scenes. Like, there's no way he wanted to leave as soon as he was robbed in the final by Ryan Mate's son. So I don't think that's why he wanted to leave. I'm pretty sure that was probably because of something that was happening behind the scenes, or just wanted to leave the season because it wasn't getting featured. It's hard not to like start in Ndombele. Like, if you look at the midfield, Skip, Højbjerg, and then you've got a missing piece. Ndombele belongs there. He could, like, when we face Watford, we really needed like an Ndombele in that lineup. So hopefully, now that he's of course staying, hopefully he gets featured again.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. I think like I said, I think he's got to come back into the team now. Now that he's not got his move. What about you, Peter? What's your opinion on Ndombele? Do you like him? Do you not like him? Do you think he should start games again? What do you think he's got to do?
I mean, there's obviously a reason he's not starting. I mean, he's definitely. I really liked him last season. I think he played really well, especially in especially like first half of the season.
Yeah.
It was very good for me. But I mean, Nuno's not going to start. Like, Nuno's not going to keep him out the squad every match for no reason. There's probably something going on behind the scenes, and if that gets sorted out, then I think he should and would be integrated back into the team, because I mean, he's got so much talent. It's just about whether he can use it well and use it how it's best to be used. Hopefully the situation can get sorted out, whatever it is, so that we do have that creative spark in the team, which we are missing at the moment, really. Which is why we've looked quite shaky when it comes to keeping on to our leads in games, because we're not capitalizing on our they're not capitalizing on getting more goals, because we don't have that spark really in there at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely spot on, Peter. Again, I think not only you don't just have to play him because he's a record signing. That's not you need to play him because he deserves it. You know what I mean? He should deserve it. He should be there on merit. You know what I mean? I know he's on a lot of money a week as well. I get that, but that shouldn't be a reason why he gets played. It should be because he's in training or whatever. I was having a discussion with my mate this morning about it, and he said that he doesn't think that Ndombele would fit well in a 4-3-3, but I said I think he would, because obviously you've got Højbjerg and Skip as sort of the defensive players, and letting Ndombele go do his thing. I think while he don't have the best work rate, and his attitude's not always the best, I think if you give him a bit of a freer role in that midfield to go and get forward, get his foot on the ball, drive forward from midfield, do the things that he was doing last season. You saw it. He picked up the ball. He beat 3 players. I remember him we played Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, and he absolutely moved off Kante and Thiago Silva. That's 2 of Chelsea's best players, and he absolutely just moved them off. So that's what he's capable of doing. We just need to see it on a regular basis, because we've paid a lot of money. And I just don't feel like we've got money's worth yet. He had a good season last season, but there must be something, because he's Pochettino. I think he liked Pochettino, but then Jose, he didn't get on with Jose firstly. Obviously Ryan Mason dropped him, and now Nuno. So that's 3 different managers. There must be a problem. There must be like an issue with Ndombele himself. It's always Ndombele that gets back from our fans, and never the managers that gets back. Where I'm in the camp of the managers. It is Ndombele's fault, because 3 different personalities of managers Mourinho, Mason, and Nuno, completely different people, and they all haven't got on with Ndombele. So it must be something to do with him. So he's for our club, and hopefully he has a good season. I was saying that he's got 2 weeks now to work with Nuno in training and show him what he can do. And hopefully by the time the international break's over, he's done enough to get into the team. Even if he just starts off playing some Conference League games, you know what I mean, and then gets into the team if he does well, something like that. But anyway, we're running out of time in the podcast, so we'll wrap up now. Is there any final thoughts from you two? Anything at all you want to share?
I don't think so for me, no.
Okay. We'll wrap up there then. So that's been another episode of the Tottenham John podcast. I've really enjoyed doing this one. Deadline day roundup. So thank you again to my co-host Wakas as always, and thank you to Peter. Just like at the weekend, some really